Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 10 of The Good, The Dan, The Florida Man. We have made it to double digits, and with you, as always, your hosts.
I'm the good. I'm Ryan. I go by Youth Pastor Ryan. And one day my sleep will fix, and I won't be shocked when Ben gives me the obvious intro for me.
I drag it out. Oh, so slow.
Oh my gosh. And we've got the
Dan, because I'm Daniel, and yes, obvious intros
And the Florida Man. Hi, my name is Ben, and I live in Florida. That makes me a Florida man. And I just love the chaotic energy that we bring to this intro every single week. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. Hello. We are three stand-up comedians who decided to download TikTok after the global pandemic hit and we had nowhere else to drive to. We became friends and decided to start a podcast, which is now healing the world. That last part is completely made up, but maybe. I don't know.
Some of the
things
content,
things are getting better. And, you know,
we do get a few emails every week that's like, hey, you guys helped me through a hard time. So
yeah, correlation does equal causation. The world is healing at the same time that we're doing this podcast. So
that just sounds like science right there.
But we are still stand-up comedians who do still have shows sometimes. So if you want to come see us live, Ryan, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm doing a DC Comedy Loft in November, so I guess very long coming up. I think it's November. I need to talk with them. I know it's in a while.
It's still pretty far out.
It's really far out. I think they're starting to sell tickets in July, so that's how I know that it's a pretty safe bet that it's in a while. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas, around like the 20s of May. Going to be hopefully picking up some shows there. Just kind of chilling, doing my thing. But other than that, if you want to see me go to college and have your college book me, that's what I do. There's other reasons to go to college. I can't think of them off the top of my head because I've got 3 degrees and use none of them.
Go to college.
Yeah,
there's no other reasons.
You know, you're not wrong. And yeah, so that's what I got. What, Dan?
My next upcoming show is May 16th. I'm doing the Comedy Church at Improv Broadway. Other than that, check me out at all the open mics in Utah. So, yes, Ben.
All right. I am still doing open mics in Orlando. If you want to come see an open mic show, you can head to orlandocomedy.com to get a full list of open mics. I do have some shows coming up, though. May 27th, I'll be in Los Angeles at the Violet Cactus. June 6th, I'll be in Wesley Chapel, Florida at the new Side Splitters location. That show is almost sold out, so get your tickets now. June 16th, I'll be in Daytona Beach, Florida at the Hilton Daytona Beach Oceanfront Resort. July 23rd, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the True by Hilton Atlanta Galleria Ballpark. August 13th, I'll be in Tallahassee at the Crumbox Beer Garden, which I believe is sold out, but we might add more seats if things open up a bit. And then November 12th to the 14th, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale at the Anime Con in the Marriott North Hotel. That's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot of words, but it's not a lot of shows.
It's 6 shows with about like the Bible essentially.
Yeah.
Just like
that was Exodus.
You have 12 shows worth of words.
I can't remember the word book, by the way. Book of the Bible. That's a bad sign because I was trying to say the word book and I couldn't get out because I was like, the Bible's a book itself. So I can't say the book of the book.
The Bible
that sounds dumb. Yeah, the
Bible
book.
It sounded dumb in my head, and I was like, "Brain, why? Why you got it?" I'm the little Dicky audio of just like, "Brain, leave it alone."
Did something happen to you this week to make you all fungled?
Nah, man, I'm just dumb. Like I did. I've done a couple virtual shows which have been fun. It's funny. Right before I got confused about like Bible, I was thinking there was something. Oh, I don't. Here's the thing. Let me explain what's been happening sleep-wise right now.
Sure.
I've been sleeping 2 hours, like every 8 to 14 hours, and it's just So like you guys are having one single day. I'm having 2 different days every
Right.
day. I have no idea what's going on. Like I am just like,
Ryan, if it makes you feel any better, I get a full night's sleep every night, and I still have no idea what's going on.
You know what? That actually does make me feel oddly better. I'm like weirdly like, yeah. Oh, also, I dropped my headphones last night. I've dropped them one time. My left ear went out, so I could just hear you guys through my right ear.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Why don't you?
Enjoy.
You need to go buy those Apple AirPod Maxes that are over ear, and they cost $700.
Are they $700?
No, I think they're like 550, so it's not much better.
Yeah,
But
these
I'm
are like-
so intrigued. I want
are like
a pair.
$80.
I want to
No.
try them. I want to try a pair. I don't want to pay for a pair, but I want to try a pair of Apple AirPod Maxes just to be like, yeah, this is not worth $550.
This was not. Oh, I say this because I remembered it because it's happening tomorrow, but it still counts as this week. Ben, you're gonna love this. I'm teaching a college hired me to teach a master class in improv.
Yay!
Those 10,000 hours are finally paying off.
They're like 10,000 hours of improv. He's a professor. He's
Yeah,
and
done
then
the
you
work.
get there and
Doctor.
like, oh, he's not gay?
Right. Oh my gosh. Dude, on one of my videos this week, because I made the joke that, someone essentially referenced that I was gay. And it was like, I pretended I didn't know what it was. And someone goes, he might be into guys, or he might be into both. Who knows? I know. Why do people not take mine? I just don't understand. Oh, it's been wild. That's been it. Oh, Dan, how are things? How you doing?
I'm good. I got a haircut. Yeah.
It's looking
I
fire, by the
saw
way.
it, man. I was gonna compliment you on it, but I knew you were about to talk about it on the podcast, so I gotta let.
No, it was great. I got a haircut, and the hairdresser and me, we gossiped. It was really funny. We were talking about how ignorant Utah people are about racism, and the entire salon was feeling really
Casually.
weird. Yeah, like we're just like laughing about it because she was Latina, so she was like, yeah, don't you just hate being from a weird place and people just want to like ask you weird racist questions? And I was like, yes, that happens all the time. And you could see all the like white hairdressers and white customers being like, oh my gosh, I do that.
And there's just one little old lady that's like walking out, just like, oh man, he's really loud. Is he from like Africa?
Oh my gosh.
I hate that. Oh my god. I hate it. But yes, I got a haircut and then I got the second vaccine, guys.
Yay!
So I am officially vaccinated. Just have to wait 2 weeks. Ben, how was your week?
It was good. I also got my second vaccine shot.
Yeah.
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 That's the
I
pod.
I got mine 6 hours ago, actually, from the time we're recording this
Nice.
right now.
Awesome.
Oh, and by the way, I did the thing again where I hit stream instead of record.
Dang it, Ben.
So I'm recording now, but like it's streaming on YouTube somewhere right now.
After
Yay.
this, we're setting up your Streamlabs to just automatically record.
Do that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably smart.
And the only reason I say that is because I had to do that myself. I was just like, I
Yeah.
don't remember doing this.
I also had a dentist appointment this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
how did that
Yeah, it was my first time seeing a dentist, not by appointment of the military.
go? Oh, wow.
I think like ever.
So you went as like a civilian. You went in
Yeah.
with like casual clothes.
Yeah,
wow.
and it
I
was
think,
like ever. It was okay. So yeah, it was live streaming. We're good. I'll just grab it later.
I love that the last 2 episodes are just, we're going to have these outtakes in the middle of just like, whoops, sorry. Like, welcome to the podcast. We're 10 minutes in. Time for our daily.
Time for a daily whoops.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I went to the dentist and I hate waiting because they're like, be here Tuesday at noon. I got there Tuesday at like 11:30, and they're like, we'll see you by 2. It's just like the amount of time you have to wait for the dentist is insane. But then by the time the doctor got in there, he's like, oh, you're just here for the checkup, and I was like, yep, new patient checkup. All my x-rays look good. I've gotten them every 6 months for the past 6 years. I don't have any cavities. I still have my wisdom teeth. They don't pain me except for like 1 week a year. We're not in that week. And then I know I have to schedule a deep cleaning. And he was like, so why do I have to be here? And I was like, to actually,
here's the tools, do it yourself.
Yeah. And I was like, to do the actual, and he did it, and he was like, yeah, everything you said was right. And I was like,
the most Ben Brainard moment of like just, yeah, you were right.
And that's
man.
how you know he gets a full night's sleep. He's just like, yeah, I know my entire dental history.
No, it's not even just
I'll
that.
study it.
It's me just going, I wonder how I can make this dentist exam take up less time. Just knowing everything the doctor needs to know before I get in there, perfect. I'll just tell him and we can just leave. And then he's like, how did you know all of this? And I was like, oh, I'm military. I've had to do this like every 4 to 6 months for the past 6 years. And he goes, oh, that makes sense. Thank you for your service, by the way. And I just said, well, it happened. And then he laughed and I laughed. And then he's like, you're good. And I was like, this exam took 30 seconds. And he's like, yeah, you were the easiest exam I've had today. Just schedule a deep cleaning, come back in a few weeks. I was like, cool. And then I left. And I was like, perfect. I had nailed that.
Beautiful.
I stuck the landing, 10 from the Russian judge. Perfect. Like that.
But yeah, that's
Wonderful.
all. Oh, Dan, did you feel any discomfort after your second shot? When did you get it?
Oh, I forgot that part of the story. I forgot that part of the story. So yes, I did feel discomfort, like I had like a little bit of a sore arm.
Mm-hmm.
But get this, right? So they tell you to drink a lot of water. They're like, drink a ton of water after the fact. The first vaccination I got, I got kind of sick.
He just with water in his mouth holds up the water like just like
Yeah.
I listened.
I already drink a lot of water anyway.
Oh my God.
Well, and so that's the thing. I was like, I'll be fine. It'll be cool. And they were like, just make sure you drink a ton of it. You'll be fine. And I was like, okay, great. Because the first time I did it, I got a little sick, a little like runny nose, a little like just feeling kind of gross, or feeling kind of sensitive, you know. But this
Which is
time
different
around,
than normally when you're not sensitive.
yes, so yes, yeah.
And I thought you were a super sensitive guy. Don't worry about it. Like we
I'm
love
really
that about
sensitive,
you.
guys. Very sensitive.
The vaccine
and-
just made me even more sensitive.
Yeah. Why did he open
It
up
turned
this
me
call
more
with a
gay,
hug?
guys. It's turned me more gay. I don't know how to explain it, but the conservatives were right. It turns you gay.
So anyways,
I'm not autistic, but I am a little.
You know, is he?
My jeans just cuffed themselves. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
you
What
get the
I-
vaccine, you're like, jeans start rolling up your leg.
What's this vaccine do? Well, it kind of sends like an RNA messenger, and it cuffed my jeans. Oh my gosh! Wait, I'm looking at your jeans. They're fine. No. My jeans, like my my body's jeans.
My hair is coiffed all the time now. I don't know how to stop.
My
I'm a
DNA's got
greaser.
little frosted tips for no reason. Like just.
The COVID vaccine turned me into a greaser.
Anyway, so I'm chilling at my parents' house after the fact. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go chill with my
Is this
parents.
First shot or second shot?
Second shot. So
Okay.
second shot, I'm like, okay, we'll chill. Just because again, I was kind of feeling like tired, and I was like, I just want to have like a chill night. So I'm chilling with my parents, and I start feeling like a little bit groggy, like a little like. So I told my parents, I was like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go sleep. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, get to home, brush my teeth, get into bed, and I'm starting to like struggle to go to bed. And I'm like, what is like
You're
happening?
not sleepy, or you're just like a little
I'm
body
like tired.
dysfunction?
I'm like tired, but I can't like go fully to bed, if that makes sense. Mainly
You can't
because
fall
I
asleep.
kept waking. I kept waking up on my sore arm, right? Like I'd like turn onto my sore arm, and it would like wake me
Yeah.
up. So I was like, what the heck? Anyway, eventually, because I had been drinking so much water, I needed to pee, right? And this is
That
around
does
like
happen. Yeah.
5:30 in the morning. I wake up and I'm like, oh, I need to pee bad. And I was like, oh, but I feel kind of like a little dizzy for some reason. I stand up, walk to the bathroom. I'm like, like a little
Fall
bit
down in the
dizzy. but
bathtub
it's
again.
fine.
You're like, I've been here before.
No,
His pants are down.
It almost turned into that. I'm standing peeing, and I don't know if you guys have ever like. Well, maybe you have because you've probably been. Well, except for Ben, drunk while peeing, but it's a very different. Like all of a sudden, I was looking down at the toilet bowl, and the toilet bowl just started going like
It
spinning
started
around.
flushing. Yeah.
No.
Yours
That's what
doesn't.
toilet water does, Dan.
No, it started spinning around, and I'd like turn around. And we have this big mirror right by the sink,
And it's
and so I
Danny
like turn around
DeVito
and look at
looking
myself.
them.
My face starts going, and I swear I was like, "This isn't drugs, is it? Like, what is happening?" My face starts spinning, and I was like, "I need to get into bed." I slam myself on my bed, like run to my bed, or tried to run to my
Pants
bed.
still down.
That's such a thing. Just Peter
Still
To be
Griffin.
honest, I
peeing.
don't actually know if that is the case. It might have
He's
been. I
still
have no
peeing.
idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, and like just sit there spinning around. Out of nowhere, I got like a little bit of hallucinations, like weird.
That's
And I don't know
exciting.
if it was like in like REM stuff. I think it's just because I'm like very unhealthy. Like I have an unhealthy body, and so my body was like, "What is happening?"
Well, I'm just impressed that LSD cures COVID. That's pretty cool. Like I would have never guessed. But that's the
I
vaccine.
questioned it.
Like,
I was like, "There had to be something in this injection."
yeah.
Anyway, I call my mom, and it's like 6 a.m, and I'm like, I've not. And now, keep in mind, I have not called my mom like this in like years. But I called my
Right.
mom, and I was like,
Can I come sleep in bed with you guys?
I'm scared. Things are spinning around in my bedroom, and there's monsters here. And I was like, Daniel, go to bed.
And then she hung
I
up
woke-
and
then
looked
I
at
went
your
to bed.
dad. She hung up and looked at your dad and was like, I think he's on drugs again.
He's ruining his body. Anyway, so she went to bed, woke up, and then I was perfectly fine. But for at least like an hour, I had a little bit of a crazy time because of the second vaccine. So
And then nothing else after that?
nothing, literally nothing. Like a little bit of a headache maybe, but nothing else after that. So I think it was just probably like the fact that I was trying to go to bed while experiencing all this stuff. So
Right.
it was just
I got my
weird
6.5 hours in, my shoulder's a little sore. But the guy, I watched him stab me, and he was like, "Oh, you like to watch, huh?" I was like, "Okay, sir, you need to
First off, never phrase
say
it that way.
Yeah, never say that out loud again." Because I asked him if I could film it, and he was like, "No, HIPAA," and I was like, "Fair enough." And then as we're having this conversation, I'm like looking at him. He's like, "Oh, you just like to watch," and I was like, "That's not a phrasing that I would use," but yeah, I'm like, I'm fine with it. I'm
Well, how did you ask
military.
the question? All right, were you like, "Hey,
Oh.
can I film this?"
No. Just for my own personal files. Could I? No, I was just like, hey, just quick, can I film this? And he was like, nah, HIPAA. And then like he's stabbing me, and I'm looking, and he's like, oh, you like to watch? I was like, don't say that ever again to anyone.
But yes.
But I was like, no, I'm just military. We've had every vaccine they've ever invented. Like I got the polio vaccine last week. Like it's not even a problem to me. And
Also, okay, I got a question for you. The HIPAA thing, like it violates HIPAA, like, but that's for you. So shouldn't you be
Right.
allowed to give out
I
your
think so.
information?
I think so,
Okay,
yeah.
just making sure that was dumb. Carry on. I just wanted to like.
But yeah, my shoulder hurts right now. It's a little sore. I don't
Keep moving
expect-
it around. Keep moving it around.
I don't
Careful there.
expect too much else. They didn't tell me to drink water or move my shoulder around, so I'm glad you're here. They just gave me the shot and were like, "This is gonna hurt." Like that's it. That's all they said in Florida.
Florida's advice current. Get ready for the roller coaster.
You should see the one we're giving out in Utah. It's crazy.
LSD and that one is wild.
Oh man.
That's fun.
All right, that's
I'm
everything
fun.
that happened this week. That was a lot of stuff that happened this week, I guess.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
Busy,
Now
busy,
it brings
busy.
us to my favorite time of the week. Story time! That was not rehearsed.
That was not. Nothing here is rehearsed. It's
Ryan,
improv.
do you want to kick us off this week?
Yeah, sure. So we're doing sports stories, which
Because we're men.
yeah, we're big men, dudes. You know what's weird is I just also realized I forgot I played baseball. That was like mostly what I played. I did play soccer when I was younger. I played football for a very short period. I played football for middle school, but I did not grow until my sophomore year of high school. So that was not what I should have been. It was fun, but not made for that.
You strike me as a baseball player. Pun unintended.
Ah.
No, really. I mean, you're tall, skinny, white. Like, yeah, you play
that's
baseball.
an important step. Yeah, no, that's like from the Midwest, like just like just got that classic Americana. Sure. Like,
your name is Ryan Kelly, so Ryan Kelly, like it sounds like a baseball name.
It's just coming up to bat. We've got Ryan Kelly. He's batting a .42. That's unfortunate. No, .042. I was a .42 would be amazing actually.
He spent the first 10 years of his life talking like an old-timey sportscaster.
And for some reason, he's chewing tobacco.
Yeah, eats hot dogs and beer exclusively. Like that's his diet.
He'd walk in elementary school with a big wad of Big League Chew in his mouth.
Just to warm him up. Yeah, it was fun.
And now he has a sleeping problem. No.
I really liked baseball. It was fun. I played third base. I played first base. Third base and shortstop was pretty much what I played. Because I could hit to third really easily. It was just fun. Yeah. I loved it.
You got the arm, kid.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, just my buddy Josh always played first base, so it was a fun duo of like.
Yeah, that's how you throw from third base, Dan.
Do you guys not? Wait, is this why I didn't go pro? Are we figuring something out? But I enjoyed it. It was fun. Can you guys hear that? Is my question. The car alarm and that cool. Just making sure that my parking garage that lives next door is just does that. In my sophomore year, I didn't play for my school. I played for a team that was off school because I just kind of wanted to have fun. Crazy thing I deal with sports and having fun. And I played for this team called the Tsunamis. And the Tsunamis was the worst. It was the worst team I've ever played for, and the most amount of fun I have ever had in my entire life.
That's usually how that goes, isn't it?
Yes.
We were the bad news bears of this league. We were terrible, but we had weird people that would do weird. Like we were all terrible at most things, but everybody had one thing that they could do, and that's just how we played. We had a guy on the team. His name was his name was Thomas. I'm not going to say his last name, but Thomas was more like his what. So we got a buddy named Mikey who was the coach's son on the team, and then we had Thomas. Thomas would roast everybody the entire time, verbally the entire time. We called Thomas White Lightning because he was team. Yes, the opposing team and us all the time.
No one's off limits.
No one. And he would do it during games. At a certain point, we had a guy. Okay, let's put it like this. Thomas was one of our pitchers.
Just call me Family Guy because I make fun of everyone.
That's kind of what it was so great. He would roast everyone. He was our pitcher. We had our catcher who had anger management problems. And so,
So your catcher was just like steal home. I want you to.
Multiple games for clotheslining people taking home.
Absolutely.
So we had Sean who had anger management. We had Mikey who was the coach's son, and Mikey was not good at sports. And Thomas would just roast him for throwing, as he quoted, like lollipops because he couldn't actually throw the baseball right. Thomas's nickname was White Lightning because he was probably like 5'4" and like 50 pounds overweight. And so he would he could hit a triple and not it to first.
Lightning was the joke. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Because he could hit a triple and not make it to first. And we were like, there we go, White Lightning. It was just.
I would have called them like.
Let me get this straight. He was the one roasting you guys, but you guys came up with
White Lightning. I honestly think, I swear to God, I think Thomas, like literally no one was off limits. So I think he just called that himself. I think he literally came up to me one day and goes, "Hey, I'm Thomas. I go by White Lightning. You'll see why." And it's just like, what is happening? Like,
and you were like, I'm still waiting to see why, Thomas.
I like how you were like, nobody's off limits, including himself. He's like, my name is White Lightning because I can't run fast.
I suck. Here's an ironic thing. Like he was. It was so
nobody can roast me except me.
Our best pitcher was a Lebanese kid named Jordan, who was just like, who for some reason just all the time, like the nicest human being, and would make a ton of airport jokes all the time.
You know,
No. But I mean, like this weird dichotomy of just like, I always get stopped at airports. It was whenever we travel for things, he's like, I don't want to go to airports. I was like, dang, man, that's tough. That's real tough. Like, I was like, weird things would happen. Like the team was so weird. We also had a guy named Michael who we called him Big Mike, and this guy, he was just
Mikey
our home.
already.
There's always a Big Mike on a
Absolutely,
team, right?
absolutely.
There is.
Like, yeah, Big Mike, yeah.
Big Mike, and that's Big Mike. This is Little Mike. I'm regular Mike.
I'm standard issue Mike. He would just hit home runs all the time. Like he could not be stopped.
Big
And
Mike.
he was the slowest, like nicest, like
Slower
matter
than
of fact,
lightning?
like Southern boy, and he would just crush it. It was crazy. But here's
That
the
one's for my mom.
It's always the quiet ones that know how to like dominate a ball.
And then they just walk into home and they're like, "That was a good pitch, though. Like, don't get your head down. Like, keep your chin
you're
up."
fine, buddy. One time we all went and we were gonna play at this like tournament, which we should never have done. But we all got there, and during the tournament, to give you some highlights, we had some kid who was probably so Big Mike was, I want to say 6'4".
That would be Big Mike.
Yeah, someone who was like 5'3" tried to fight him, which we all thought was, and he stopped
Calm
the
down,
fight by
Scrappy dude.
Yes, he put his hand on his head and just kept him at bay. He was just
that's
like, no.
So emasculating.
It was amazing. It just kept him like that. Sean
I had
got
someone
kicked out
do that to
twice.
me one time, so I grabbed his arm and I jumped up and I kicked my legs around. I got him into a flying arm bar. And I said, "You want to hold me now, buddy?"
Then you jumped up like a spider monkey?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, Ryan probably knows because of the years of fighting. Dan, do you know what a flying arm bar is?
I don't know, but I assume it's.
Do you know?
I'm assuming what I know.
Do you know what a regular arm bar is? So you're down on your back, and there's somebody. His legs are across your chest, and he's got your arm, and your elbow. So he's like pulling back on your wrist and like pushing up on your elbow. So it's gonna break your elbow. That, but instead of lying down, you do it perpendicular to the floor. So the guy is still standing, and I just wrapped myself around his arm and then put my legs onto his chest and held on and was like hip thrusting his elbow because he was trying to like do the annoying like, oh, this little person thing. He like fell over pretty much immediately after I jumped up, but I still had him in the arm bar. And he was like, "Okay, yeah, I get it. Don't do that to little people." And I was like, "Yeah, you think? You friggin' think? No, don't test me."
That's the best way to fight.
Wait, we can jump. Like that's just like. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I love it. Yeah, but anyway, long story short, essentially during this tournament, Michael Clyde stopped a fight like that. Sean got kicked out of 2 games. One of them started a bench clearing brawl.
Absolutely.
Which Thomas commentated. He did not fight. He just yelled stuff.
I think I would be friends with Thomas.
You would absolutely have been friends with Thomas.
I would love to see who Thomas is.
Thomas is he's honestly one of those, like, unfortunately we're not still in contact anymore, but he's one of those people that I remember in my life and I'm like, good thing I met him. You know what I mean? Like it was a good
be
part.
able to reconnect with Thomas?
I might. If you still got the same phone number, I probably would. Gosh, it's going to be weird to be like, hey, man, remember sophomore year of high school? I'm like, just.
Hey, you remember White Lightning?
Yeah, because we all remember White Lightning. Jordan,
he's like,
again,
I'm actually playing in the MLB nowadays. Like, I am a very fast sprinter, actually.
I'm quick. You got to be quicker than that. It was Jordan too who like ended up like the second fight. Like really, like he again, super quiet dude, just super like what you'd imagine is like classic like Midwestern like Christian guy, like just very very passive, very nice. Like he's the one that dominated the second fight. Like I mean, just absolutely like it was one of those ones where I'm watching
was
it.
Flipped in Jordan.
Yeah, well, it was one of those moments like, I don't have to do it. And then it's like, my time has come. And it's like, there he goes.
He's
Like-
Michael Orr from The Blind Side after Sandra Bullock pulled him aside and said, you have to protect your quarterback. And Jordan was like, okay, yep.
I can do that. Yeah. And who's your quarterback, Jordan? White Lightning. Like, that's it. Oh, yeah, it was. We ended up actually doing pretty well in that tournament. I think it's because people were just confused by our existence. And I think that if you confuse a team enough, they just let you go. They're just like, you do
it's
it,
a
Skeeter.
head game.
It is. It was always a head game with us because it was just the best batch of Bad News Bears I've ever played. like in my perfect, this is a weird thing to say, but like in a perfect world, like if you could go back and like say like you get to repeat something over and over again in life, like say that's heaven, I'd just go back and just screw around with those guys probably for a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. So much time just playing some just casual baseball.
That's fun.
It was fun. But yeah, that's just it's a very happy, wholesome story that just makes my heart warm.
Mine are not, and I can't wait to see that contrast.
I'm excited. Ben, do you want to go next for the contrast, or should we have Dan kind of temper the in-between?
I kind of want. Yeah, I need to know about Dan because Dan said he has rugby stories.
Yeah,
and I need to hear them because Dan, you are not like obviously from Africa. If you're gonna play anything, you're gonna play rugby, but
Yes.
you are not the rugby. You don't like. I don't look at you and be like, "That's a rugby player."
I wonder why. Oh.
Yeah. First off, Ben, weirdly homophobic. No, I'm kidding.
Took you guys long enough to find out. Jeez.
Oh gosh. What you don't know is that rugby is a very gay sport, actually. Which is why I
don't know.
like playing it.
We did. I think it's kind of.
It's a very gay sport.
Rugby. I think you mean rugby.
I don't know. It seems like football with extra touching. You know what I mean? Am I the only one that sees that? So why would
pads.
There is
Less
a
pads in
lot of
football.
touching. There is a lot of touching in rugby, and particularly because I played prop, so I was in the scrums a lot. A scrum is the little pile up that you have of men just gathering and smashing against each other over a ball
while you slowly roll it between your legs to the next man and in the line.
And now you know I'm gay. And so basically what ended up happening was that I played prop for the fifths team. Now, what you need to know about the fifths team is very similarly to Ryan's story. We were the jokes of the entire school,
Yeah,
right?
because everyone knows there's the first team and the second team. You were on the fifth team.
The fifth. Actually, I made it as low as the sixth team. Right?
Division 6 bound.
Because a funny thing about Zimbabwean schools is that the schooling system makes sports compulsory. So you have to play at least one sport. And during rugby season, they took away soccer purposely so that people would play rugby. They were like, we don't play soccer in the high school. We can only play rugby or field hockey. And people were
wild.
yeah. So it was a really weird, dynamic, real weird, place. So everyone was playing rugby. And I played fifths, right? For most of my high school career, I was in the fifths team. We were jokes, but it was really fun. It was just stupid crap, right? We wouldn't wear, a lot of us didn't have cleats. We'd just go and do front flips and back flips. Our games were at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. So parents were there to watch and monitor us.
This was the longest yard. Your team was just maggot coming out of the thing. They're like, does he have cleats? And then you just take off and but the difference is they watched you guys run and they were like, they're fine. They don't need cleats.
Funny thing is, I can't tell you how many old men were like, I'm gonna take this fifth team and make you the first team. We're gonna train you guys up. And
they just
every
wanted to
single
be
time,
the next Invictus.
No, seriously, they gave up after 3-4 weeks every single time. And they'd always end up shouting and being like, you are terrible. I thought I could make something of you, but you are terrible.
And as they're leaving, you guys are just like, bye, Coach Carter.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being in our gay thing. This is great. Anyway, so as we're, it comes to senior year, and what you need to know about senior year is or I should actually say the year before senior year, right? I'm playing in 5th team, and there is a game against this school called Churchill. And Churchill was infamously known for like bad sportsmanship and like weird, like dirty play, right?
Sure.
Anyway, I am not an angry person. I am very naturally just a very
stories.
calm.
I friggin' love stories that start with that caveat.
It's a great caption.
I've never heard
beautiful.
someone start a story with a disclaimer. I'm a nice guy, and then just heard a very pleasant story.
But I killed that kid in state finals. You know what I mean? Like that's just.
But naturally, I am a very mellow person. Like, it takes a lot of energy to get me
Sure.
angry, right? Like, I have to be in a really specific situation, have to be going through some weird stuff to be, like, angry at people, right?
Absolutely.
Especially during rugby, because we're playing 5th team, right? I'm not angry at anyone.
None
like
of this
team.
matters.
We all know, right? That's just stupid. Anyway, I'm playing this game at 8 a.m. in the morning. I have woken up, I'm playing, and I'm like, I hate this. This is so stupid. This guy randomly just like stares at me across, because we're in the scrum, right? So I'm going against him, and you have to look at them, and he's like, I'm going to hurt you. And I was like, okay, whatever. Everyone always says that, but whatever.
Ian's like, here we go again.
Anyway, so we scrum, we start scrumming. I believe we win the ball, and then we started running down the line, and you have to go into what's called a ruck, which is basically another scrum, but like not nearly as formal. You just have to kind of try and win the ball over as someone's tackled. In that scrum, he purposely collapsed it. And someone in that particular situation grabbed me by my testicles. And just started squeezing them. Like squeezing them.
Oh, no.
And I was like, now I'm screaming for my life because I'm like, ah!
Oh.
My manhood is getting destroyed as we
I'm stepping on throats if that's happening.
I feel him underneath me, and so I jump up in the air and like put my knees down and just like knee him into the ground. Anyway, the rock clears up.
Butt bombed him.
Yeah, you ground pounded. You Super Smash Bros. Moved him.
I really did, because I was like, I need to get out of this. He immediately let go, and we get out of the ruck. Now I'm angry. Now I'm like, this dude.
Yeah, no, I wonder
like,
why.
Of all the things to do to someone, he was like, I'm going to hurt you, and immediately went for the testicles. And I was like, it's game over. You've done the worst possible thing you can do to me. I am angry at you now. So now we're getting back into the scrum because they've got the ball. And I go into it. And I have never been so angry in my life, I don't think, right? I've been pretty angry, but I've never been this angry. I sit, they like touch, pause, and in the pause you like look, and I was like, I'm going to hurt you more. And he was like, what? And I was like, I said, I'm going to hurt you more. And he was like, what? My grandfather taught me this weird technique where you can crush someone's head. You squeeze them. So anyway, so I go into the scrum, and what you do is, because you're linked up, right? Your heads are right next to each other. His head goes by my chest, right? My grandfather taught me how to hook someone under my chin and crush their head using my big, because I have a huge head. Right? You're not getting out of this thing. I gripped his head and started like crushing his head and winning the scrum every single time.
Because
anyway, so he gets up and he's like,
destroying someone's skull, Stan.
Yes. And I never use this technique. I just want to specify again, I never use this technique on anyone because it never warranted. We were in 5th team. I wasn't going to use like a first team technique on a 5th teamer. Yeah, but I was like, it's time to bring out the big guns, I guess.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he Mortal Kombated you.
It's just, did you hear someone in your head just going, finish him?
Anyway, so now he's like complaining to the ref. He's like, he keeps hurting me. He keeps hurting my head. And he was like, the ref was like, I don't know how to prove that. You're in a scrum. Like, you're going to have to sort it out. And he was like, I don't know how to do this. Well, and anyway, so every single time at this point, and the final scrum, not the final scrum, but a scrum just before, I leaned down because because now he tried going for my testicles again in another ruck. And I was like, this boy, he has not learned his lesson.
Oh, no.
So I was like, sir, I'm going to murder you. I'm not joking. I've never talked like this before my entire life. This is probably the most villainous I've ever sounded in my entire life. And I was like, I am going to kill you. And I did it calmly. I was like, I'm going to kill you.
That's the most terrifying. It's when somebody is threatening your life and they're just calm about it. Because you're like, that's not emotion. That's thought. That's thought. Thought this out.
This is first degree. This is premeditation. Like, that's just...
Anyway, and this is how I know that I played a good game.
Because he's no longer alive.
I never used to tackle people. I never tackled people.
You're like, that's a lot of effort for a game where you
too much effort.
People.
Too much effort. I'm like, I can get in the rocks. I can get in the scrums. This is fine. This kid gets the ball and starts running down the field, and he thinks he's like doing stuff. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to unlock some instant power that I've never had. Uh-huh. I started sprinting. This guy's like sprinting. He's already far ahead. I was in a rock, so I sprint across the field immediately to meet up with where he's at, and I jump, and I'm pretty sure I was just like, I'm like,
I'm just picturing your arms back. You're flying at this point. It's not even a...
No, I was flying. I was definitely flying. I was airborne at this point. He is just seeing a 280-pound version of... Well, actually, it's 300 pounds at this point.
He's seeing a Boeing 747. Of just me,
literally flying at him. And I hit his knees.
Crushed him.
He literally walked... Like, okay, I don't know if I broke his bones, but he walked off... He, like, went to his coach and was like, please... This boy is going to kill me. And asked to get removed and replaced out of the field. Anyway, his replacement comes on the field, and I was like, if you anger me as much as the last person did, I promise you, I will hurt you. And he was like, you're fine, dude. I don't care. I don't care. And I was like, good. Hey, we're friends. Great.
Now we're good.
We're back in fifth team.
Like,
we're in fifth team.
Friggin' calm down, Liam Neeson. I'm not going to kidnap your daughter. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so I did not know this. Again, because we're playing at 8 a.m. in the morning. The first team coach is sitting there and sees this performance. And it's like, oh, this kid is great.
Oh, no.
He needs to be in first team. Anyway, so then next week he comes up to me and he's like, hey, I want you to play in first team next year. Because that was like the end of the season last game, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, next year I want you to play in your senior year in first team. And I was like, I'm fine. I'm okay. I don't want that. And he was like, what? And he was like, yeah, don't want it. Don't care about it. He's like, but we're going on tour in a few weeks to finish up the season with the first team. Do you not want to like come and play reserves? And I was like, no, I don't. And he's like, we have pies and we have Coke. And I was like, what does that mean?
You should have led with that, buddy.
He's fat.
Yeah.
He's fat. He knows what he wants food. That's the real thing that's going to motivate him.
What if fat kid's like, okay, get this pie. Give me all these things.
It was like, this kid's 300 pounds. He's going to love Coke. He's going to love all this stuff. Anyway, I was like, no, period. I don't want to go. And he's like, I've never had this happen before. Everyone wants to join the first rugby team. And I was like, well, you've met someone who doesn't. I like fifth team, and that's where I'm going to stay. The coach then goes to all the popular rugby kids. And I don't interact with these kids at all. These are the like popular white kids who are like, I don't know how to explain them. They're just like weird, right? They're like rich, wealthy. They're not the type of people that I hang out with, right? Sure. Out of nowhere, these dudes start being like, hey, Spencer, hey, how's it going, man? Oh, well, I heard you don't want to play on our team. And I was like, nope, don't want to play on our team.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's an accurate. Yes, you are correct. And they're like, oh, that's weird. Like, are you sure you don't want to do that? And I was like, no, I definitely don't want to do that. My cousin who's on the first team finds out as well, phones my mom and is like, hey, so Daniel told the first team coach that he doesn't want to play on first team, particularly for the tour in 3 weeks. My mom got home and my mom was like, you are going to play on first team. And I was like, anyway, we had this huge argument. It was a whole thing.
Mom, I have something to tell you. I hate rugby.
When my testicles are crushed. Like that is the only time I play amazing.
That's
and I don't
his
want to have to do
warm-up.
that.
And that would never happen in a first team game, really, if we're honest. Like
Yeah.
they're like the referees are too good, they're too like observant to like
And the kids
let
care
that happen.
more.
The 15 coach, like the 15 referee is like drinking Coke on the side, actually a beer on the side.
Yeah.
They're usually drunk, like somewhat drunk, right? Like that's why you can get away with stuff like
Yeah.
that. In the first team, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get angry because it's just going to be me getting beaten up by people who know how to play the game. And I've already told you guys the techniques they use, like skull crushing, like shoulder impacting, like it's like a really weird stuff, right? Anyway, so it comes time for the tour. I'm on the tour bus. I'm sitting next to my cousin because he's like one of the only people I really hang out with on the tour bus. And I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. I'm listening to like Amy Winehouse. They're all listening to Pitbull. It's very gay of me, but like, that's where I was at.
Pitbull was not the name I was expecting. I mean, he is
Also,
Mr. Worldwide, but
I don't think
still.
that Pitbull is the bastion of heterosexuality either. I don't know what you're
Or
doing. Like,
rugby.
I don't know, man.
In Zimbabwe, he was, dude. That was
Okay.
like fully the straight people's choice, right?
I
Like,
guess
oh,
so.
Pitbull, yay!
I got bad news. I think your straight people in Zimbabwe might also be gay. Like, I mean, I just
We played rugby. We did play rugby. Anyway, so it comes time for the like final game. I've been a reserve the whole time during the tour.
Uh-huh.
No activities. They've just kept me on the reserve bench, and I was like, good, great. I've managed to get through this whole thing unscathed. Out of nowhere, it's the last 10 minutes of the last game during the tour, and they're like, Spencer, we're going to send you on the field. Now, what you need to know is that in the showers every single night, a lock keeps coming up to me. It's this huge guy. He's like 6'5", just huge and very intimidating. He has like RBF, like seriously bad RBF, like constantly
Big Mike.
pissed off. Literally,
This
but
is Big Mike.
angry,
Wonderful.
like angry, like murderer eyes. I don't know how to explain it,
Man.
right? And keeps coming up to me in the showers. And again, I'm naked. We're like we're showering every single
Yeah,
night, and
That is how
like
you
chill.
shower.
And I have not played games. I have not done anything. He keeps coming up and he's like, if you ever get put on the field and you don't play a good game, I promise I'm going to kill you. And I was
Jesus
like, oh my gosh,
No,
he's
thank
doing what
you.
I did to the guy on the last game. Like I was like, this kid is gonna kill me. Anyway, they put
doesn't
me on
help.
the field.
Anything,
No, it doesn't
ever.
help. It doesn't help. It just makes me intimidated, right? Like I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what a good game looks like. I
Like,
play
I'm-
for fifth team.
You should
Like,
like,
I can play
I
a good
literally told
15
everyone
game.
that I don't want to be here.
I love that
I
this is
said
just a
that.
conga
I
line.
literally told him that. I was like, I did not choose to come here. You guys were the ones that fought for me to be here. I'm not the one who came up to me and was like, hey, there's Cokes and pies everywhere. Right? Like, it's
By the way,
really
Dan,
weird.
Important. Were there Cokes and pies everywhere?
No, that was the other thing.
Oh,
That's
this is way worse.
Water and polony sandwiches. Polony is pork bologna. So just ground up
Ugh.
pig, and it's super pink. It was the worst. Anyway, I get put on this field after eating tons of polony sandwiches. So my heart is not doing great, right? Like it's like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
I get on this field, and the lock happens to be the same lock that is backing me because it's two props in a scrum. That's hooker, props on either side, and in between those people's legs is locks. And the locks are supposed to be your support system. He has full access to my genitals again, right?
Yeah.
And this guy's
Rugby's
like,
so genital involved. I did not know this. I didn't play rugby.
because you
but-
have to, in order for the locks to support you, they have to reach in between your legs and hold onto your shirt and like pant or like shorts band, I
I don't know
guess.
if they have to, but carry
Okay.
on.
It's the best way
No,
to do it because
they do. They have to balance. So they
Yeah.
have to pull you back so that you're balanced so that you can launch into the people, right?
Wow.
So they're your support system, essentially. Like they're the ones who like control it all.
I wanna watch
Anyway, so
Rugby
I'm
is
sitting
wild,
there
dude.
again. I run on the field, and this guy's like, "If you don't play a good game," and I was like, "Yes, I know. You're gonna kill me." You said that every night in the showers while we're naked, and it's really weird. Like
I hope
only
you
a
said
serial killer does that, right? Like only
absolutely.
a weirdo would walk up to you fully naked and be like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, every time
Yeah, oh, no,
Ted
that's-
Bundy picked up a woman, he looked at her and he's like, if you don't get in my car right now, I'm gonna kill you. And then
Like, that
he
dude's
did
in
it
a prison
anyway, and he was
somewhere.
like, man, my mistake.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ted Bundy joke. I am sitting there now, just scared out of my mind. My aunt and uncle are the only people that are there, just supporting and stuff.
Okay.
And they kick the ball off. I have never sprinted that fast in my entire life. And I started wrecking first teamers all over the place. Because this kid was behind me and he's like, remember, if you don't play. He said it for the whole 10 minutes.
So
kept reminding me every single minute or anytime he was around me, he was like, remember, play a good game or else.
Which
Or
one
I'll
do you
kill you.
think, which version of Dan do you think was a better rugby player? Do you think Angry Dan or Afraid Dan? Which fuel was the better fire?
Definitely I feel like Angry Dan is thoughtless, right? He just does erratic things and does crazy stuff. Scared Dan thinks things through.
Sure. And then makes the
Okay.
best choice. Yeah.
He makes the best choice. He's calculated. He's like, if I don't do this correctly, this huge mother effer is gonna kill him. He won't just do it in a regular spot. He's probably gonna do it to me in the showers, and I don't want to die naked. That's not.
No, that's a
If
fear. That's a
anything,
good. That is
I'm
a
gonna
fear
be-
that will make you fast.
Yeah. just dying limp in a shower. That's not cool. That's not the way you want to go.
Anyway, I played the best rugby game of my entire life, probably, according to my aunts and uncles.
Mhm.
And soon after, it was also really weird. I forgot to preface this. The lock that played rugby with me also was a ballroom champion.
Like a ballroom dancing champion?
A ballroom dancing champion. His hips
okay.
didn't lie. He was very I don't know how to explain it, but
I don't think you need to.
we didn't become friends, and he proceeded to, and this is another story for another time. We had leadership camp, which is where they pick prefects and they put you through kind of what you go through in military training, I guess.
Yeah.
He tortured me for a whole week at leadership camp, because that was a couple weeks later. So that's my story time for today. I don't know how to finish it other than saying, hey, rugby's crazy and super gay and also very intimidating. So
We're definitely going to get a
Wow.
leadership story about the serial killer
Yeah.
later, though.
Yes,
Because I love it was a rugby story, but in my mind, it was Dan met a serial killer.
Yeah.
That was
That's what
that was
happened.
the story I heard. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that was.
Oh man, I
Wow.
think that has much harsher contrast to my story than to Ryan's. Because Ryan's like, this is a sweet, happy, fun one, and Dan's like, I'm a killer, he's a killer, we're all killers, we'll kill you, your mom, your dad, we're gonna murder
Do you have a
everyone.
family? Not
that
anymore.
explains rugby as a game fully.
Oh
Yes.
man,
Yes.
I played soccer pretty much my whole
Yay.
life. I played rec soccer most of my life until I was 11. Then I played competitive. So 11 is way too late to switch to competitive and still be good. So I had to spend a year on the competitive team at just practice and coming in occasionally during games before I was good enough to be more than just a liability on the field. But from 11 to my entire high school career, I played soccer, and I was never that technically gifted at soccer. But I was always very physically fit. I was always the fastest guy in the field. I had the most stamina on the field, and I wasn't afraid to get in and hit people. Because especially in America, people don't think soccer is that heavy of a contact sport,
Yeah.
but it is.
You've told us that you nonchalantly fired a bazooka, so I fully believe that.
Right.
I was
But
really? Ben?
that's not the idea that people get when they see me. I'm the biggest I've ever been right now. I'm 5'5" and 125 pounds. I guess I was a little bit bigger in basic, but when I was a kid, 11 years old, I was even smaller. Nobody looks at me and goes, "Yeah, we should watch out for this kid."
Ben, from everything that you have described yourself as, I 100% believe it has nothing to do with the numbers behind you. It is 100. I feel like you go Super Saiyan, and it's just like I think just somehow you convert to like 6'8", 245, shredded, like just. I don't know. That's
what
in
it
my
is,
head now.
right? I am very math brained, so I just immediately run the physics and the analytics behind the thing that I'm about to do to you, and I immediately figure out how to do it the best way that requires the least amount of force.
The best leverage. That's amazing. I love that so much.
It's just that has always been like a thing. I've always been good at wrestling and fighting because I've just known this is how this bends. This is how to make it bend the way that it's not supposed to bend. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. And then the same rule applied for soccer. So like I learned real quickly that soccer is very much a contact sport. 1 and 2, for someone my size, nobody will ever call a foul on me because they think that I'm the one being fouled.
That's hilarious.
And 3,
I just like the idea of you fouling someone and still looking like you've been fouled. Like, just getting wrecked.
That never really happened unless I needed it to. Because I knew how to get my leverage right. And then like 3, at full speed, you don't have to hit someone very hard to make them fall.
Nope.
Nope. So I learned all these things real quickly, and my thing was just like I played defense, I played like the outside, so I would set it up to like I would try to force them down the sideline, so all I'd have to do is face them. And I was like fast enough a lot of times I could just sidestep as fast as they were running forward with the ball. And like I would just kind of like trot down sideways the field because they can't go one way, that's out of bounds. They can't go past me, I'm there. And if I ever had to catch up to somebody, I would be able to do it, and then I would get up, I'd put my shoulder up under their arm into their rib cage, and I would just give them a little bit of an upward outward thing. And if you do it right, they kind of get like decleated and like thrown. I tossed someone into a bench. Like they had the benches on the side of the field. He didn't come back in. He had to like where the team sat, the metal like aluminum bench where the team sat.
You returned him to the bench.
Yeah, I was like, your game's done.
There you go.
I was like, your game's done. Well, and that one wasn't even so much like my thing. It was like I had gone up for an offensive possession, and I was just on my way back, and they were doing a counterattack, and this guy just happened to be like running past like midfield at the time that I caught up to him at like full speed of Ben at like a 45-degree angle, and I just went straight shoulder to shoulder with a man who was not expecting that. Like, he didn't see me. I came from behind him, but it was a legal hit. I got shoulder to shoulder. It was perfectly legal. This dude got thrown off the field into the bench, and he didn't come back in for the rest of the game. But
he got thrown into a bench. I can understand why.
I have a few stories. I have like a few very
soccer.
specific stories. Soccer was a lot of fun, but like I have a few very specific stories about my time playing soccer. The first one, I had a nickname that my competitive team gave to me very early on, and it's Benaldino Megsalot, which.
How?
Look, okay, I'll explain.
What?
The Aldinho part obviously is just like it's Brazilian or Portuguese.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah, so Benaldino. But in soccer, a meg is when you kick the ball between someone's leg. It's a nutmeg. You just call it megging.
Yep.
And they called me Megsalot
I
because
hate that word.
I don't know, man. I didn't come up with it.
I know, but it's just weird. It just makes me feel gross.
That's fine.
I was megged last night.
Oh my god.
But so I was at a perfect level of like technically unskilled that whenever I did moves to cut back inside or cut back outside, I wouldn't keep the ball at my feet. It would just go off at an angle. But they were also used to playing defense against kids that could keep the ball there, that they would overstep, and I would just end up kicking it between their legs as if I did it on purpose. But it was just completely because I was not good enough.
What?
Yeah.
You were so bad you were amazing? That's amazing.
Yeah, and so they just started calling me Benaldino Megsalot, and I was very, for a while, I'm very obviously the worst player on the team. And they were just, and then I would still just run past people, and they'd be like, "This is dumb. I hate this."
I love that.
One of my best friends in soccer that I met through that competitive team, and then again playing in high school, is my buddy Jacob Martin. And this was a very unlikely pairing, because he is a 6'5", 250-pound, third-degree black belt Samoan man.
Yes.
I love this The Rock Kevin Hart thing we got going on here.
He's The Rock, and I'm Kevin Hart, and we were inseparable. And when we first started playing, we had a diamond back formation, which we had 4 people on defense, and they played in a diamond. So the 2 people on the outside, we had a stopper up front, and then a sweeper behind. The sweeper was just like the last line of defense. If anything got past the stopper, the sweeper was there. I played stopper because I was just like, I could get everywhere very quickly, and I could go up easier for offense. Jacob Martin was the sweeper. So if you got past me, you would just meet a brick wall. And we were such good friends. We had like this whole chemistry. I would just kind of like purposely knock people off a little bit or tug on them just a little bit to get their motion wrong, so that when Jacob got to them, it would be perfectly timed for him to get the ball and that person at the same time. And he was just the biggest dude on the field at all times. We were playing this team, competitive. I think they were called FSA. I don't know what it stands for, but there was this one guy on the team, and I'm pretty sure his name was Jeff, and we hated Jeff. The whole team hated Jeff. He was just mad annoying, didn't stop talking the whole time, and we made fun of him all the time for it. He was just like this preppy, pretentious kid that we all just made fun of. He hated it. He was really good at soccer, though, so it kind of backfired a lot, because he would just get the ball and then go score. This one particular time, right after I had joined the team, me and Jacob we're in sync. Jeff comes down the field. He gets past me, but I catch up to him immediately. And I like knock him off just a little bit, and Jacob gets the ball without getting Jeff, and I'm now running behind Jeff, so I like just put my hands up but keep running forward and just push Jeff away. Just like away from the ball. It's not a foul because like he's obstructing me, honestly. And Jacob has the ball, and he's just moving upfield real slow. Jeff turns around, runs up, and he's about to get it, and I yell, "Jake, behind." All Jake does is put his foot on the ball. Doesn't do anything else. He just stops, turns, looks at me, puts his foot on the ball. And Jeff runs full speed, kicks the ball as hard as he can. The ball does not move. Jeff then fell face first straight into the ground because that's where the fulcrum was for his body. He kicked it and bam, straight to the ground. Jacob did not feel a thing. He just kept standing there, and now me and him are just standing over Jeff's body, laughing. The game is still playing. Everything is legal. There has been no whistle. Me and Jake are just standing over this lifeless teenager, just laughing at him, and not playing the game at all. People are yelling, "Pass the ball! I'm open!" We were laughing so hard that our midfielder, I think it was Mel at the time, had to come back from midfield to get the ball from Jake so that he could then go and play the rest of the game because we were just laughing. I'm pretty sure Jeff broke his nose. He just straight face.
We hope so. We don't like Jeff.
He did not come back into the game, and I'm not sure if it was nose broken or his ego that was broken, but something was off about that kid.
And Jacob went on to throw Ryan into a pool in Las Vegas.
Yeah, certainly tried.
The other really fun Jacob Martin story that happened was a few years later. We had moved from a diamondback formation to a flat 4, which really only means something if you know what that means. And so I had moved from the middle of the field to the left, the wing position. And Jacob was still in the middle. He was playing the kind of last line of defense still. He was wicked fast. It just took him a minute to get going. And we were playing this travel team, and they were launching a counterattack against us. And they had this kid that we all just called the Afro Ninja. He had a big, fluffy afro. Little dude, maybe my size. If not my size, a little bit smaller. But just had a big old afro and just zip, zap, zopping up. He would just get around everybody. He had, like, the best foot skills I had seen up until that point in my life, and he was just he would just get past and just go, and they were launching a counterattack. This kid dribbles past like 4 of our guys. I'm running back on the wing protecting somebody, and then I just see Jacob Martin catch up in this like wide arcing circle of just like this it was a freight train that had just gotten momentum. And you see him, he gets to this point, and Afro Ninja was not expecting this at all. And boy, Jacob Martin pulls his foot back to clear the ball. That's all he wanted to do at this point, was just clear the ball, get a solid reset. So he cranks his foot back, and then I saw him just wait a fraction of a second before unleashing the cannon that he had. He waited that fraction of a second to make sure that Afro Ninja was also going to kick the ball at the exact same time that he was kicking the ball. And again, my size.
Oh no!
And when you kick the ball at the same time from opposite sides, they call it a 50-50.
It was not, though.
No, I'm going to call this one a 95-5. Afro Ninja makes contact, immediately does 2 front flips, and then lands on his face. 2 full front flips. And then lands on his face.
An afro. He was
And
just
then-
the ninja.
And then their bench cleared. Everyone stands up shouting, "Hey, what the hell?" Like, the ref didn't call it because it wasn't a foul. Everyone's off the bench screaming that was a foul. What the heck, ref? What's going on? The ref just looks at the other team and goes, "Where's the ball?" And that's when everyone was like, "Oh, where is the ball?" The ball was 3 fields the other direction because that's how hard Jacob Martin kicked it. The ref had to point. He's like, very obviously, this kid made contact with the ball. It is 3 fields that way. This isn't a foul. Your kid just needs protein.
Oh my god!
And again, me and Jacob Martin just laughing. And we had extra time to do it because somebody had to go get the ball 3 fields away.
Oh my god!
My
3 fields.
It was insane, dude. And those are my 2 favorite Jacob Martin stories. Soccer got a lot more intense for me once I got into high school. Because my senior year, this is very obscure for most high school soccer teams. My senior year, 13 players on the 13 of the seniors also played, for the same competitive team for years leading up to that. And most of the time, it's like a couple kids know each other here or there. More than half of our team, most of our team was, more than half of our team, most of our team we were friends. We had been friends. We'd been playing on the same soccer teams for years. So we had just all known each other. And when we were practicing, we had a new coach that year. So when we were practicing, we just started beating the hell out of each other during scrimmages. Relentlessly, because we were all friends, we knew how each other played, we would just beat the ever-living hell out of each other in scrimmage. And we had like a couple of preseason games, and we were doing all right, I guess. And our coach stopped our scrimmage one day and was like, stop. Hey, you see how you hit that kid real hard? Why don't you just do that to the other team?
Oh my god!
And something clicked in all of us, and we were like, you know what? That makes sense. So their senior year, we just hit the other team as hard as we could every single time. Anytime someone crossed onto our half of the field, we would destroy them physically. we would hit them as hard as we possibly could. And the other thing is my coach knew who I was because like I was the one cross country kid that was on the team, and I wasn't allowed to practice during like the end of cross country season for the overlap. And the only overlap was like districts, regionals, and states. And so I just couldn't practice for a long time. And my coach was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, we just made it through districts and now we're into regionals. And he's like, so you run like a lot. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, and you're fast. And I was like, yeah. And then the other coach who knew all of us was like, this kid doesn't stop running. I've never seen him run out of stamina. And the new coach was like, okay, got it. And so when he was putting together like the team list, he was like, okay, all these players are playing here and here and here. And he left me for last. And he's like, Ben, you're going to play left wing back. And then he circled the entire left side of the field and said, this is you.
Okay. All right.
He's like, yeah. He's like, I want you up on offense and I want you back on defense every single time. And I was like, sure, coach. Yeah, man, whatever. So I spent every game, of the entire year, just full sprinting up and down the left side of the field. Because I would go up and be the extra guy in the box on offense, and then they would launch a counterattack, and I would sprint, and I would just catch up to the other guy, and they'd be like, where the hell did you come from? I was like, I was over in the box. And they were like, but I wasn't. And I was like, but I was over in the box, And so I was just like...
That's where I was. Did you not see me there?
And so I would just catch up, and it didn't matter how many times somebody would pass me. Somebody would have to pass me like 5 or 6 times before they finally got past me, because I would just keep catching up. And I just never ran out of stamina. That was just me the whole year. So you combine that with the fact that we all had a switch flipped of just beating the hell out of every other player on the field. We went undefeated.
Oh my gosh.
Not only did we go undefeated in the regular season, we won the district championship for the first time in 22 years. Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
And we won
Insane.
every game by 1.
Wow.
Because we could not score. So we won every game like 1-0, sometimes 2-1, and that was it. Because anytime someone crossed our half of the field, we would just hit them real hard. A lot of us got yellow cards. And that's fine, because if you hit them hard enough one time, you're not going to have to hit them a second time. There were a lot of kids that would not come back on our side of the field. Because we would just tell them straight up, like, hey, if you cross, we're going to hit you.
It's going to be bad.
We're going to hurt you.
Wow, you guys' stories have a lot in common.
We sprained a lot of ankles. Yeah.
People.
We sprained a lot of ankles. We broke a couple ankles. We broke a couple noses. We broke some kids' wrists. We would just hit them real hard and every single time.
You said wrists?
Wrists, yeah.
Like
wrists.
plural, like...
Well, wrist.
Wow.
Wrist. We broke one kid's wrist. But, like, that was him. He tried to brace himself. That's on him.
Okay.
But, yeah, like, we would go and face teams, and they would just be like, we really don't want to do this right now.
This is the opposite of Brian's team.
Yeah.
No.
People are like,
But
we don't like these people. We're so scared.
We had fun. That was the because then it was just like a mental game, because then we would just laugh and joke the whole time. We would openly mock them to each other in front of them, but then just laugh as if they weren't there. And they'd be like, do I not even exist to you? And I'm like, not if you don't have the ball, dude. Like, you don't exist.
You were the white lightning of your soccer team.
But I was actually
much
lightning.
faster. Yes,
Much faster.
actually,
Yeah, the actual white lightning.
Yeah, and then so we taught, like, the JV team, we just taught them what we did. We're like, all right, just don't be afraid to hit people, hit the weight room, just be aggressive. And then the next year, they won the state championship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was either the next year or the year after that, but, like, within 2 years, with a lot of the kids that we all taught as seniors, they won the state championship very much the same way. There is a tape somewhere because it was the state championship game was recorded. There was this kid who played my position, left wing back, he was like my size too, and I taught him like you're gonna get away with a lot of stuff if you just do it like this. Here's how you get people into the corner. Here's what you do. And there's a video somewhere, it was recorded, where he runs this kid down the sideline into the corner. The kid on the other team goes to cross it in, and Taylor is his name. Not only does he put his foot up to block the ball, but I taught him to like block it forward, so your momentum takes the ball and you into that person who's already off balance because they're trying to kick a ball at full speed. So you're just gonna throw them when you hit them, and nothing's gonna happen to you. Live TV, this kid blocks the cross away, like a field away, and runs the other kid down. The other kid is now on the ground on his back, and then Taylor, Allen Iverson steps over the body that's on the ground while staring down at him, and then just shakes his head and continues, and then goes back into the game.
That's so savage.
And I was like, that's the
God.
moment. That's the moment we won the state championship. They didn't recover after that.
Oh wow!
Oh my God.
Oh, wow!
Soccer was fun.
That's so amazing.
That is the end of story time.
Oh my gosh!
Made it out of story time. Which brings us to our silly question of the week.
Yay!
And this one was actually sent in by an audience member who sent us a question. I thought this would be really fun to talk about as a silly question. Geeky Gal says, "Hi, I'm a big fan and I wanted to ask a question. If you were a demi-god, who would your godly parent be?" It's based on Percy Jackson. Here's a link to a Reed Riordan website quiz if you want to take it. I couldn't think of who Dan's godly parent would be, but I think that Ryan would be the son of Apollo and Ben would be the son of Hermes. I just want to know what you guys think. I think they nailed it.
I mean, that sounds pretty awesome. Also, I was reading about Apollo because I saw that pop up, and I was like, okay, God of like prophecy. Is it the youth pastor name? Be honest.
Hermes is the god of speed and mischief.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, so nailed
the
it.
whole story.
Yeah, right. Like that's
Nailed
the
it.
perfect setup to this. Oh my God.
Ryan, did you open that link?
I did actually open that link. I'm actually taking it right now.
Okay, Dan, we're gonna have you take this quiz live on the podcast to see which demigod you would.
Okay.
Okay, so which of these colors is your favorite? Blue, green, gold, pink, silver, or black?
Ooh, it's a toss-up between blue and gold. I'm gonna say blue.
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 Okay. Which of the following places do you prefer? The mall, the beach, a forest, a library, a cemetery, a concert hall?
Oh, probably the beach. The beach.
Okay. Which of these foods is your go-to? Sushi, shish kebab, s'mores, rice cake, tuna, barbecue ribs?
Ooh, barbecue ribs.
Okay.
Barbecue ribs.
Which of these is your favorite pastime? Practicing archery, singing karaoke, exploring a cave, building with Legos, shopping for clothes, or riding a horse?
Probably. These are not normal, I feel like.
No, they're not.
Probably singing karaoke.
Yeah.
I
Singing
feel like that's the
karaoke,
most
okay.
normal one. I don't know who's just going and exploring caves and riding
Which of these
horses.
animals is your favorite? Chihuahua, dolphin, Rottweiler, elephant, owl, deer?
Elephant. Elephant for sure.
Okay. Which kind of music do you like best? New age, classical, pop, show tunes, cool jazz, the Grateful Dead? Which is their own genre now.
Yeah,
apparently.
you guys remember the
They're
Grateful
an
Dead became
entire
a
genre all its own.
That last was really just. Do you want to do drugs while listening to music? That's what that means. Like that's what that means.
Absolutely.
maybe that one. Cool jazz, probably. I'd probably
Cool
go with
jazz. I did not think that you would be a cool jazz guy. Okay.
I'm loving that you
which
are.
one
though.
of these apps would you be most likely to use? Zombie Run, City Planner, Hurricane Tracker, Love Match, Voice Recorder, or Wildlife Calls?
Probably. Well, City Planner sounds like a business app, but like if it's like Sim City, then
I
I'd
think it
probably
is
use
like
that one.
SimCity.
Then I'd probably use City Planner. Yeah.
Really? I would have gone with, hey, we're stand-up comedians that also do TikTok things. Voice recorder? Like, I mean, like, I don't know. That's kind of
That is true. That is valid. We do that
What?
a lot.
What is your fatal flaw? I can be moody, arrogant, vain, too proud, selfish, or I tend to distrust people.
Ooh. I can be moody, like really moody sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you want to kill people.
He lets him know, which is nice.
What is?
No, I'm like passive aggressive. I'm really gaily passive aggressive. Like, okay. Oh, you do you? Oh, do you like? Okay. Yeah.
Which is your best quality? I'm an independent worker. I'm creative. I'm a strategic thinker. I'm good at networking. I'm a steadfast friend. I'm a natural leader.
Probably creative. Creative's probably.
Okay. Your godly parent is Poseidon.
Yeah.
Wow. Good work. Based on your this one, it
I'm
says, good work. Based on your responses, you have been claimed by Poseidon. Go ahead and make yourself at home in cabin number 3. Train well. Don't forget to brush your teeth occasionally, and try not to get sent on a quest. They tend to shorten your lifespan.
I at some point I will tell you the story of at one point I walked runway dressed as Poseidon with a 9-foot trident, and I feel like that'll be.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Look. It was a look. Sis.
It was serving up the looks.
That is a silly
time,
question.
Ben?
It is that
Is
time.
it the time?
Ryan's ridiculous history.
Hey, this is going to be a short one today, but it's just crazy to me. Mary Had a Little Lamb, cute little children's story based on a true story. It's a real thing. Like it was a real, there was a girl in the 1860s. Her name was Mary Sawyer. She was 11 years old. There was a lamb that she had that she loved, and it did follow her to school.
Okay.
Why? Like
that's it. That's the whole basis of the story.
That's the whole like it's just a real story that we tell 160 years later
because some girl had a pet sheep.
Yeah. How boring were the 1860s? They had the Civil War and they were like, but this is it, Chief.
Right. People would wave goodbye to ships, Ryan.
Oh, that's a good point.
Goodbye.
That's a good point. But I mean, how cute was this sheep? Was this like the lamb, like the cutest lamb that ever lambed? You know what I mean? Like it had to be adorable.
Second only to Jesus.
Right. Lamb of God. Bless up. That and apparently in the
Jesus
late 1860s.
does have a 6-pack though, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, here's what's crazy about that is
probably
like Jesus was a carpenter, and that was stonework back then. He had to be pretty yoked. Like. Well,
I mean, that's why it took him. Yeah. That's why it took him so long to put him on the cross. They couldn't.
Oh my God! They were just looking for like tall Philistines or like tall Romans to be like, get him up there. It's like, oh my gosh!
There was just a line of just like dead Roman bodies wherever Jesus left because they were just trying. They'd get him, and then Jesus was like, yeah, come and get me.
Man, I feel like there's a version of like Jesus could have been Samson, but it was just too passive. You know, he was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm here for peaceful reasons.
Do we know that he was? Because we technically know that the story is that they had to like whip him. They had to tire him out by putting a cross on his back, and they had to make him climb a mountain just to get him to be able to like be hung on
just to be able to pierce his skin with a spear. Up to that point, they were like, it's not going.
Must have been a jacked. He's like, I am not going anywhere. You guys can try and take me. I'm a carpenter.
Well, he also, like, think about it. He did clear out the temple. Let's not forget that. Like, he flipped tables and stuff like that. Like, he was like,
last season,
that's my favorite story.
It's such a good story. It is.
Just Jesus, the annoying gay.
I am currently developing a set, so that's why I'm just testing out some jokes.
Oh,
there
great.
It is. The subtle comedian thing of adding the jokes we're already working on when it fits in conversation. It's a real thing.
It's great. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I just thought like Mary Had a Little Lamb, like based on a true story. That's crazy to me that it had to be based off a true story. And like that was really the first like adorable animal meme that they were like, forever. This is it. Like we'll take it forever. Yeah, and I guess Ben, you're totally right. Stares at ships. Maybe they didn't have a lot going on. But yeah,
not much else.
There we go. Mary Had a Little Lamb, the first meme.
That's Ryan's ridiculous history.
Ryan's ridiculous history.
Wow. Now it's back to Dan's LGBTQs for the straights.
Yes. My LGBTQ for today is, are you ready?
Yes.
If you could be one of the LGBTQIAs in LGBTQIAs, which would be your most preferred and why? Like, what would you most likely want to be if you couldn't be straight?
That's such an interesting question.
Yeah.
That was a great, wow, good poll.
I already know my answer.
What? What is it?
I would love to be pansexual.
Oh, I didn't even include the P's. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the plus.
That's the plus. Yeah.
Yes, it's all in the pluses. Yes.
Pansexuality, if you don't know, is just physical attraction to everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That would be wonderful.
It
That would.
be.
Oh yes,
I was discussing that with a friend today, and it's kind of. I hope that becomes the new like bisexual, right?
Well, the only
There's
reason that
definitely
it's,
like
the only
there's
reason that it's not is because the idea of bisexuality existed like in society a lot longer before the idea of non-binary or gender fluid or any of that stuff did. So bisexuality really meant the two genders. But since the acceptance of these other things, they had to change the idea of bisexuality to include all genders, but with a preference, which that's the only difference between bisexuality and pansexuality is that bisexuality has preference to it, but it still has that prefix bi, which does mean two. So they need to either come up with a new version of pansexuality with a preference or just call it pansexuality and you just explain that you have a preference every time.
Yep. I just think it should replace it, honestly. Ryan.
I would agree with that, but I do think that there are people that still like definitely prefer essentially like have a preference against, as sad as that says, but but it is true, like a preference against non-binary people. So I guess that is kind of like, which I mean, I don't know. It's weird because it's such a weird thing because it's like
phobia, not a sexuality.
Wait, no, I mean like if you don't sleep with people that I don't know. I mean,
if someone is, you don't really get to know about their gender before you're attracted to them. You just see someone, you're like, yep, that's attractive.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So, the only reason that you wouldn't be sexually attracted to a non-binary person before knowing that they're after learning that they're non-binary is because that's the thing that you don't like about them, which is a phobia, not a sexuality.
I could definitely see that. I think that I guess it's more thinking of like there is definitely a certain like, it seems like, in a way, a lot of non-binary people tend to go towards a certain look. Not all, obviously, and there's a lot there. But I think that that's what most people mean when they say that. But you are 100% right, because there are people that you would look what is considered like cis, and they are non-binary. And so it's like, I don't know. I'm very simple. I'm a very simple boy that is still shockingly into ladies. No one believes me. No one does. But I am. And honestly, to answer that question, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick asexual because I think I'd just be super efficient. I would be so efficient.
Okay, Ryan going for the other spectrum of efficiency, where I was going for efficiency on the front of like, yeah, man, I don't care what you look like, come on. And Ryan's like, yeah, I don't care what you look like, stay away.
Well, just in my mind, I was like, if I didn't have to think about like if it was something that was less that wasn't appealing to me, I would just be like, I'd get so much more done. I feel like I'd be like, I wouldn't have to worry about like,
I have the same thought about like if food didn't taste good, we would be so much farther along as a society.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so true. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Just another thing that we add to the list of needs. Wow. Food tastes good. That is wild. That is crazy.
So yeah, I would pick pan. Ryan would pick A. Dan, if you could pick anything that wasn't gay, would you pick? What would you pick?
I mean, you make very good arguments for both of those sides, I think. But to be honest with you, I probably would want to be a lesbian, mainly just because lesbians just like are more put together people. Every single time I've met a lesbian, I've always been like, wow, they have their life sorted out. They know what they want, and they're just doing it. You know what I mean? They don't have to worry.
From lesbians are the greatest, most fulfilling thing.
Exactly.
It's like, oh,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
There's something weird about it. It's just like, it's like it's so kind and it's so in depth normally. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that's my answer. But that's my LGBTQ for the straights. Ben, what is the news for this week?
Welcome to Ben's Breaking News. I have 7 headlines from
from around. I do 7 headlines from around the country, and I think like 1 international headline. And here's the headlines with my commentary. U.S. birth rate fell by 4% in 2020, hitting another record low, adding another bad reason to the list of reasons old people now have to hate the gays.
Wow.
It's actually nice to see that millennials have gotten so good at being afraid to turn into their parents. They're literally setting records for it. This is another true part of it. The number of births in the country has dropped for the 6th consecutive year, as Americans wait for literally anything good to happen in the world before bringing their children to it.
Yes,
Maybe next year, guys.
2022.
Next headline. A federal judge has thrown out pandemic-related moratorium on evicting renters. The CDC did not respond to a request for comment, as they were probably busy helping people survive a global pandemic. The National Association of Realtors welcomed the judge's decision, saying, "Yay."
Yay.
That's true, though. They did the National Association of Realtors did welcome the judge's decision. What they actually said was a better solution would be to help tenants pay rent, taxes, and utility bills. Every renter in America was then unanimously quoted as saying, yeah. To be fair, the moratorium was kind of lax. It covers most people as long as they, quote, swear they are doing their best to make partial rent payments and that evictions would likely leave them homeless. As a renter myself, I would like to say that I am doing my best. You just need to lower your expectations. And also, being evicted from my home would absolutely leave me homeless. Next headline. Oh, by the way, the government's probably going to appeal that, but we don't know where it's at right now. Next headline. Herd immunity in the U.S.? San Francisco offers reasons to be optimistic. After reading this entire article, I just want to rewrite the headline to say, city that listened to experts now experiencing exactly what the experts said would happen. Next headline. Cases and vaccinations continue to drop as White House sets new inoculation goal. Rest of country just wishing we would stop using the word inoculation because it sounds gross. Joe Biden has set a new goal of 70% for 70% of adults having at least one shot by July 4th. The good news here is that at our current pace, we should hit that goal by mid-June. The bad news here is that given a choice between the tortoise and the hare, we all know which one America is, right? Next headline. This one was really fun for me, and I think, Ryan, you're going to really love this one.
I'm going to love this. Yeah.
The entire West Coast is now covered by an earthquake early warning system. This system sends the West Coast a warning every 5 minutes that just says, probably.
Yep.
The app that is now available to the West Coast is called Shake Alert. Which is a funny name for an app that has absolutely nothing to do with Parkinson's, seizures, autism, Tourette's, essential tremors, or chihuahuas.
Hey, essential tremors!
I joke, but it is a good thing. Millions of people on the West Coast will now know about an earthquake. Let me check the notes here. Seconds before it happens. Yeah. According to the act,
that's just now I'm just scared. Now I'm just scared when it's happening.
It's actually the anxiety alert system. So, according to the acting director of the U.S. Geological Survey, people on the West Coast will have enough time between getting the warning and the earthquake happening to do stuff like say, "Well, shit," before immediately getting into the fetal position. Next headline, Thai travel agencies offering COVID-19 vaccine tours to America. Which means, if you don't know what that means, it just means they're legitimately offering vacation packages to America that center around getting fully vaccinated while you're here.
Wow.
Yeah. Thailand is like our little brother at the dinner table that looked over at our plate and went, "Are you going to finish those?"
Yeah. We have those things.
It's really fun for me to see what other countries are doing to help encourage people to get the vaccine. Like Thailand is offering vaxications to America, while America comparatively is offering one free donut at Krispy Kreme.
I do love
Both
Krispy Kreme
campaigns are
donuts.
seeing similar interest rate. And last headline for the week. Americans overwhelmingly see China as the greatest threat. Rest of world now trying to figure out if that makes America the pot or the kettle.
I totally thought in the direction you were going to go was Americans overwhelmingly see China as the greatest threat, being on par with what Chinese citizens see their government as. Like the greatest threat. I mean, let's figure
Fair
it
enough. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, 54% of all Americans think this. Also, 74% of Republicans agree, as opposed to only 39% of Democrats. The other 61% of Democrats are only afraid of how Trump pronounces China.
I was not prepared for that.
That's the best part about jokes, Ryan, when you're not expecting them.
The surprises, yeah.
According to the same study, only dry throat.
Oh my gosh. Vaccine. Yeah. That's why you drink water. It's actually just for your throat. They just were curious about it.
According to the same study, only 42% of young Americans between 18 and 30 find China threatening. They all seem to think that climate change is the biggest threat for some reason. I don't know. Being afraid of climate change while also not being afraid of China is a lot like saying, I'm not scared of alligators. It's just the teeth that I'm worried about.
Oh my gosh.
In a completely separate survey, the rest of the world feels a little less threatened by America since the election of President Joe Biden. If nothing else, let this be a lesson to men on dating apps. Don't change anything about yourself. All you need to do is post more pictures with dogs. Then women will find you noticeably less threatening to democracy.
Wow.
And that wraps
Accuracy.
up Ben's breaking news. That brings us to our audience submissions. We have a lot of questions, so let's rip through them quickly,
Yeah, we
guys.
gotta rip
Remember,
through 'em.
they are color-coded,
They are
Ryan.
Wow.
I am red. I will get it.
Red
Hey,
for
guys.
Ryan, pink for Padan, and blue for Ben.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Hey guys, love the podcast. This question is for Ryan. Why was I saying it like that? I don't know why. When you were working for the company, you're not wrong. What were some of your favorite backstage memories, stories? Obviously the ones you can talk about. Keep up the great work, guys. First off, Jordan, now thank you so much. Second off, my favorite was on my last day as Spider-Man. I brought in 3 massive pizzas. They were huge. And I just
love
ran
massive
around
pizzas.
to everybody's break rooms delivering pizzas as Spider-Man, going, it's pizza time. And it was awesome. It was just
that's
really
great.
fun. Yeah, it was a very sweet time.
This is a question for everyone. What is the wildest natural disaster, hurricane, tornado, etc., that you have been in?
Do we want to make this a story time?
Absolutely, I have a few.
Yeah, cool.
Just a little teaser. I have gone surfing during a hurricane. When I was like 10 or 11, or like 9, 10, 11, there were like 3 hurricanes that hit back to back to back. And they lasted for like 2 straight weeks of just constant hurricane. And then the third one is recently when I was out protesting in downtown Orlando, an actual tornado touched down right around the corner from City Hall where I was. And we all knew it was there because we could hear it and see it, and we continued to still protest anyway.
Wow, you just almost immediately accepted martyrdom. Like that was just immediately like, wow.
So those are my 3 stories that will get more in depth later.
Yeah. I'm from Missouri, so tornadoes.
Yeah. This one's from Bethany P. Hi, boys. Love the podcast. Hearing you guys rant about things is awesome. Makes quarantine less alone. So my first question is, what is one thing you could go on a tangent/rant about for hours? I love seeing people light up talking about the stuff they are passionate about. And question 2, what is your opinion of D&D? And if you know of it, would you want to play? P.S. Alaskan here. An Alaskan moose could kill any friggin' alligator or croc you throw at it. Bite me, Brainard. With consent, of course. With love, Bethany. It's adorable that you think that, Bethany, but there are some actual dinosaurs that live here. So yeah, first question was, what's something you talk about for hours?
Tangent and then D&D. Yeah. For me, it's World War I. It's a really understudied war that was incredibly instrumental into kind of everything that changed with the world. And it drives me crazy. And I also had a professor in college who, a couple things about him, like first off, like huge raging anti-Semite, which was weird being Jewish in his class. But also like just didn't talk about like the end of World War I. We talked about like literally a dude who played music instead of the Argonne Offensive, which won the war. I get passionate, but it drives me crazy. So yeah, that dude drove me crazy, and so I love World War I. Also, I do play D&D. I play as a youth cleric because that's the closest thing I can get to youth pastor, and it's hilarious and fun, and I love it so much. Dan, what about you?
Britney Spears, and yes, I play D&D, but I've only played it a couple times, and I want to play it more. So, yep.
Comedy. I can talk comedy for hours. And I've never played D&D, but I'm working on that right now. I'm working on a campaign, so more to come.
Guys, that would be a fun thing for us to stream, like a one-shot.
Absolutely, it would.
Dude, I could get us with the welcome in. We would have fun with that. Okay, I'll remember that. Hi guys. I wanted to thank you all for all the raucous laugh you bring to my life. Thank you, Libby C. Please keep being awesome. If you could live anywhere on Earth with easy access, living like visiting loved ones and having them live close, where would you live? I don't really know. I don't know. I kind of like living in the States because like our stuff is pretty spread out and it's nicely spaced. I just like that.
I would live as far away from loved ones as possible.
So I love the image of this is Ben is trying to go, but because of this question is they're close, he's just constantly moving.
It doesn't say that they're close. It just says that I have easy access to them. So by living as far away from them as possible, they would then have the idea that I'm putting a lot of effort into seeing them.
Yeah. I love that.
I'd live at either Short Beach, Oregon, or Harare, Zimbabwe, one of the two. Just because I think, actually, Vilanculos, Mozambique is pretty cool too. So one of those 3 places.
Sure, didn't understand a word of that last part.
But I want to go.
That sounds amazing.
Come, Vilanculo.
Guys, if the podcast takes off, can we do an Africa trip? Would that be
absolutely?
Yes.
Awesome. Dan, this next one's you.
Oh, sorry. Wendy Williams. This is mainly for Ryan, and it's more of a request. I'm agnostic atheist, but my mom is Christian. When I showed her a few of your videos, she thought they were funny, but thought I was finally converting back to Christianity because of your username. I tried explaining the joke, but she didn't get it. So can you please go on the record that you're not an actual youth pastor, so she'll get off my back?
Okay, Wendy, 2 things about that. First off, agnostic atheist. Thank you for knowing the difference between Gnostic and agnostic, because they are not necessarily a religious affiliation. It just means knowing or unknowing. Thank you for that. Also, definitely understand that. I've had a lot of people messing with this. No, I'm not an actual youth pastor. Yes, I do look like one. I went to Christian school for 18 years. Then I taught Sunday school, and then I got ordained so I can do weddings. I am not a real youth pastor. I took the natural progression and went into comedy. Because I saw The Preacher killing it, and I was like, that looks awesome. But
The Preacher?
Yeah, The Preacher.
His name is just Preacher.
Preacher Lawson?
Talk about Preacher Lawson? Yeah. That's his name. He literally started in Orlando. I started comedy with his brother. I know, man.
Yeah, right. You know The Preacher. It's funny because he lives out here now. I know. It's so silly.
Sarah E says, hi, I just want to say I love all 3 of you and wanted to say thanks for brightening up my days. I always love watching your guys' content. It brings so much joy to me and my family, so thank you. My question is, do you know what ferrets are? And if so, would you ever adopt one? Also, if you had to pick one fast food restaurant where you would get your meals for free no matter what every time you went, what restaurant would you pick? So yes, I know what a ferret is, and I would absolutely adopt one.
Absolutely. You mean long cats? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
long
take one of
cats.
those.
And what restaurant would I get free meals? I would pick Cheesecake House. Or
Interesting.
what is
Factory?
that? Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, because they sell everything.
That's true.
True.
I'd pick a place called The Stand. It's just got such good sandwiches here, and I'm heavily addicted to it. And they're so customizable. They're so customized. Oh, you can get so many sandwiches.
Nando's?
The pizza place?
No, it's like a chicken place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know about that. All right.
I think it's Nando's. Nando's. Yep. That'd be it. Very quick answer. Yep, very quick answer.
No, I think we can finish these real quick, Ryan. If you want to hop on that Zoom call real quick, and then I'll just meet you there later.
I'm such a nervous boy when it comes to like being late. I don't know why, but that's definitely my thing.
Yeah, man, you go log into that Zoom call. I'll be there soon.
Sounds good. I will. Yeah.
We just have a few more questions, so.
Oh wait! Also, this I'm gonna read this next one because reference one of my favorite podcasts of all time. Hi, just the podcast. It's Haley Bonusteel. I just listened to the podcast where you guys were email and asked about the phonetic spelling. First of all, I had no idea how much you guys were going to ask, and I screamed. Ryan actually got close to the pronunciation. Thank you. I am lucky sometimes. It's not right, but close. That's my whole life. Second of all, good job, Ben. You got it on the second try. It's
Bonusteel.
It's German, but oddly enough, there's not a drop of German in my heritage. So to Ben's joke, this is probably not the best listener on the way to church. It's definitely much better than Time Suck, which is my it's my favorite podcast.
I love Time Suck. Yeah,
it's so good with Dan Cummins. Actually, got to
I learned about the Mothman.
Right, Mothman's so cool. He's such a good dude.
That.
Such a good podcast. Yeah, I don't know if we're supposed to recommend other podcasts, but yeah, definitely.
We can
would.
if we like it.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Love you guys so much, Haley. Thanks, Haley. Love you.
Thanks, Haley.
Off.
All right, bye, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan.
Me and Dan will finish these.
Perfect. What talent do you have that might surprise people? Can you fold a fitted sheet, tie a cherry stem in your mouth, have something weird memorized? What uncommon skill do you possess? Bonus points if you can demonstrate it right now while recording the podcast.
So I actually have a few things. So I can tweet like a bird.
Oh, wow.
I can chirp like a cricket.
Oh, what?
And I have all of Black Alicious' alphabet aerobics memorized. I'm not going to do it all, but it's the song that goes, artificial amateurs on it all amazing. Analytically, I assault, animate things. Broken barriers bound in by the bomb beat. Buildings are broken basically and bombarding. Casualty, casualty, it goes on. It does the whole alphabet. So yeah, those are just the first ones that popped in my mind.
What can I do? I do stand-up comedy, and you know what I can do? I can rap most, if not all, of 99 Problems by Jay-Z. But I
like that one.
entirely, and I can do this with my thumb. I don't know what this is called, but it's like weird, right? Pop my thumb.
Like, pop the joint out.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. It's weird, right? I can also break dance.
Oh yeah, I want to see a breakdancing session at one point.
Perfect.
All right. Next one. This one just says, describe your base in 3 words or less. I don't know what that means. Also, explain your state in 3 words or less. Chaos and alligators.
White people, ew.
Perfect. I'll do Ryan's. This is from Taya P. That question was from Elsa W. This one's from Taya P. Hey guys, I absolutely love your podcast. It's my new favorite thing to listen to every week. I saw this question on TikTok just now and I wanted to hear you guys debate it. Which cereal mascot do you think could secretly be a serial killer? Do you want to make this our silly question next week?
Yes, let's make this a silly question, please.
Okay.
Because this is actually a great question.
Yes, Taya, we will go more in depth on that next week.
Perfect. You all wanted responses on why anyone would go under with the toilet. What? Would go under with the toilet paper roll. I won't convince you of going under because even the patent shows over. But I do fairly regularly go under specifically because it bothers people and I'm a monster.
Well, I'm glad you know.
Yeah, I'm glad you know where you're at.
Thanks, Kevin S.
Kevin S.
Okay, hello again, gentlemen. This question is for Dan and Ben. Perfect. We heard in the Beer Bong John episode that Ryan's parents are pretty enthusiastic about his TikTok career. I was wondering how Dan and Ben's family felt about the internet shenanigans. Enthusiastic, merely tolerant, in the dark completely. More importantly, would any of them get in on the fun and make cameos in your videos? Thanks.
My family's been pretty supportive of it, honestly, and my brother has done a few cameos in my actual like videos. I would say, obviously, he does more of like the interview videos with us. Like he goes out and helps me interview people, which is really great. Him and his wife Jade. So they're great help, and they're super fun. What about you, Ben?
That's great. This is gonna sound way more mean than I intend it to, but I will explain it. I don't care. I don't ask them, nor do I care how they feel. And if they ever tell me how they feel, I will tell them that I don't care. People need to stop asking how other people's parents feel about the decisions they're making. My parents do not make my decisions for me. This is my life, not my parents' life. Stop asking me. Stop asking other people. It does not matter what they think, and you should stop thinking that it does. With that being said, I'm pretty sure they're supportive, but they don't really say anything one way or the other.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. That's my rant. Stop asking kids what their parents.
You are a strong, independent woman. Okay.
Haven W says, on your most recent episode of the podcast, you talked about Dan coming out as gay. Recently, I came out as bi to my girlfriend, sister, and a small group of friends. I still haven't told my parents, and I don't know how to.
I'd say that you'll know the time when the time's right, essentially. That's all on you. Like you can't really know how to. It just kind of sort of happens, and I think it happens in the right time, right place. You just know. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels right. You feel like you need to be more genuinely yourself, and because of that, you come out to them, and it's just, it's great. And I'm glad. Congratulations for coming out, Haven.
Yeah, I also would like to add, not straight white man, my opinion doesn't matter, but just like from what I've heard from other people, I feel like coming out as bi isn't so much like the anxiety inducing, like crazy, my parents are going to disown me, so much it is my parents don't think bi is a real thing, and it's really annoying now. So you might have like the very annoying response, but I don't think there's a decent chance your parents aren't gonna hate you for it. So if that means anything, I hope that takes off a little bit of the anxiety that goes around with it.
And if they do, we'll be your parents.
I'm your dad now.
Cool. Congratulations, Evan. We love you. Sky Q says, I recently just moved from my aunt's house, and I grew up in that house. I've lived there since I was 7. My aunt and uncle took my family and I in when my dad left, and I immediately made some friends. I was walking my dog Spike. He's a Shih Tzu. He's so cute. Anyway, I'm really missing my old house. How did y'all deal with moving?
You are going to hate my response
okay.
Because I didn't care. I'm trying to move right now to LA. I have not planned anything. I'm just gonna do it. Someone once told me that you can be poor anywhere, so why not be in a place where you can succeed? And I took that to heart. I've also, like, I love being a road dog. I've slept in my car a lot. I don't care about physical stuff. I don't hold much weight in stuff like houses and like, as long as I have a place to sleep at night, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm not helping.
I'm in the same kind of boat, honestly. Like, I know it's a little bit hard. I will say when I did bigger moves, like coming over to America, obviously it was a big cultural change. And I think the only way to like really get through that is by finding community that you're familiar with. So I hung out with a lot of like my African friends that were here already, or like just found groups where Africans were. I went to like the Black Student Union and everything like that. It was really fun to just connect with people. And it also like taught me a lot, really weirdly enough. So that was really fun to just like experience all of that. But I'm more of the opinion, same kind of opinion. Maybe it's just getting older, but like I honestly at this point, I'm just like, it's really sentimental, gonna miss you, but really we're just moving on. Like I don't think about the old houses. I don't think about like exactly. It's just other places, especially because I have no connection to the real like other than my home that I grew up in. I can only imagine that, and even then I'm still kind of like it's there. I could probably go back and visit whenever I want to. If I need to go and like sit outside of it and just be like, yeah, that's where I grew up, I can do that anytime, right? But it's just there. I think it's more important to like continue the relationships that grew in the house that you were in, right? So chill with your friends and family, you know, keep those things going on. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's not the new house, it's the people that we met along the way.
It is. It is.
Okay, that this last question from Jared S. we'll have to ask next week because it requires an answer from Ryan.
Yes.
But that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for listening to yet another episode of The Good, The Dan, The Florida Man. We hope you enjoyed it. If you want more of us, Ryan, you can find at ryankellycomedy.com, or is it youthpastorryan.com? It's one of the two. Go there. All of his links are on there. Dan, where can I find you?
I am Dan Bam Bam on all social media platforms except for Snapchat, which is Dan_YOLO Love. Ben.
Great. And you can find all of my stuff at benbrainard.com. benbrainard.com, excuse me. It's spelled Brain, A-R-D. If you can't figure that out, try using yours. You can find all the podcast stuff at GDFMpodcast.com, and you can contact the podcast at podcast@GDFMpodcast.com. That's it. We'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.